There are no Roy Keanes or Wayne Rooneys or people who put their head down and just worked hard for the development of their own footballing skills. I believe Pogba said things like, Messi doesn't run, so why do I have to run? If we're going to let a Marcus Rashford go, somebody else has to come in, and probably more than one. And there's a rumor I just read, and I've read about this for a couple of weeks now, that we're also talking to defensively. We were so good, and our press was freaking amazing. We suffocated them, and we were able to hold on to the ball. The one thing we're not doing so well is still creating chances. Mark Rashford has just gone and done an interview with Henry Winter and stated that he is ready for a new challenge, basically letting the whole world and us know that he's probably going to move on in the upcoming winter transfer window. I just don't see how someone can state something like that and stay till the end of the season and move into summer. It's just too many games of him. But you can't put someone on the pitch for that many times that has already stated that he's going to be leaving. I think Manchester United would have probably wished that he would have kept his mouth closed for a little bit while longer until they figured out how they want to let the news or the cat out of the bag. But he's gone and done it. He's already stated it. There's no putting it back in his mouth. It's already out there. He said he's ready for a new challenge and he's ready to go. And yes, I called him Mark Rashford because I never liked his nickname. I don't like Rashi. Rashi sounds like he spent the night with the wrong woman and forgot to use protection. But with that said, I want everyone here to know before I go on that Rashford is someone I admire a lot. Rashford is my favorite player for so many seasons. I still had a hope, a desire, a wish that he would somehow find his way into the Amorim system and get back to his old best. 2019-20 Rashford was, for me, one of the best players in the world in that stage. I used to walk around telling all my friends that I think Rashford is better than Mbappe. Rashford's best, to me, is better than Mbappe's best. Now, the difference is Mbappe is a little more consistent year after year, doing the same type of things, whereas Rashford is up and down, up and down. But I did just want to show that Rashford is one of my favorite players. He's one of the only players that I actually would get a shirt with their name on. Usually I don't like wearing other men's names on the back of my shirts, but with him, I admire him so much that I went ahead and got the shirt with his name on it a couple of years back because he's one of my favorite players. So everything I say here, I want you guys to know that no matter what, even if it's negative, that it's coming from a place of admiration. I do love and respect Marcus Rashford, but he has been slipping lately. What's up, YouTube? Thank you very much for joining me once again. Thank you for clicking on the thumbnail. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for helping me with getting a bunch of likes on the last video, and hopefully you'll help me with this video too as we discuss Marcus Rashford and what's going to happen in the future, or at least what I think is going to happen moving forward until the January transfer window. Guys, I did not plan on making a video today. Not at all. I told you in the last video that came out 2 days ago that my next video will probably come out on Friday or Saturday of this week. But this news came out. Again, I am such a big Marcus Rashford fan that I just kept thinking about it all day long. And as soon as I got home from work and ate some dinner, I decided to turn on the camera, turn on the lights, fire it up, and just rant away. So here I am, and let's get right into it. Unfortunately for Marcus Rashford, he spent most of his prime development years in a Manchester United that was being run by a complete fucking lunatic and an idiot who did not know how to run a football club in Ed Woodward. Ed Woodward was appointed by the Glazers because he helped them make a ton of money, and so they appointed him as our fucking CEO when he had no business running a football club. He should have been in charge of bringing in new accounts and keep growing our investment business, or our business, let's say, instead of actually making decisions on what happens to the football team and how we recruit and how we scout. But obviously that didn't happen. History is history, and that's all behind us. But Marcus Rashford did suffer because of it. His development suffered, his beliefs. And can you imagine being on that squad over year after year before even Bruno showed up, and just watching manager lose job after manager losing job, and after squad changes? And let's not forget he was surrounded by his role models, or his friends were Jesse Lingard and Paul Pogba. And I know some of you guys probably love those guys, and I understand it, but they're not exactly the best role models. There are no Roy Keanes or Wayne Rooneys or people who put their head down and just worked hard for the development of their own footballing skills. I believe Pogba said things like, Messi doesn't run, so why do I have to run? And things of that nature. Obviously, I'm not quoting it exactly here, but that was the message he was getting across in one of his interviews. These guys were just not great role models and great teammates to have. They didn't encourage you to work harder. They weren't exactly setting the right type of environment for you to work hard and not complain. Now, we got to the point where I don't know what's going on right now, and nobody knows, and I'm not going to guess, and I don't want to talk trash, and I don't want to spread negativity or toxicity, but I will tell you that Rene Haka's interview last week, when he said that he was having a hard time convincing people to change their playing style, and some of the players would say things like, I'd rather not change the way I play, and then seeing how Ruben Amorim's system needs a Marcus Rashford and an Alejandro Garnacho to completely change the way they play, it doesn't really surprise me to see him want to move or see him be a part of the players that we're going to have to move on. Again, I like Marcus. Don't at me. Don't get in the comments and talk to me about me being one of the people who, I don't know, hounded him out, as they say online. Maybe we'll even talk a little bit about that later, where there's some Twitter battle going on with some of the YouTube channels that I asked you guys about last time in the video. Should I be talking about it? Some of you guys said yes. One or two of you guys said no, there's no need. Just do your thing. I agree. I'm just going to do my thing. But, man, it just got even better today. It got a little bit heated. And if you follow me on X, Man United FC, Man United FC. Man, I don't even know how I said it, but it's posted in the thing that comes down here. I think it's Man UTD FC, man. If you follow me on X and if you look at my replies, you'll see one where I just posted a GIF of DJ Khaled eating popcorn because I was just watching these two argue, and it's still going on now, and this is like 4 hours later. And it's pretty crazy, but maybe we'll talk about that later. Let's get back to our discussion. Our discussion is about Marcus Rashford, Ruben Amorim, Alejandro Garnacho. And I know Alejandro Garnacho, you might think that this has nothing to do with him, but it very much so does. I want you to think about the kind of impact it would do to a young kid who thinks he's super talented when he sees someone like a Marcus Rashford being moved on. Now, whether or not it was Marcus's decision is debatable. I believe that, of course, he has to agree that it's time for him to leave. And I think one of his quotes that he said that, again, I believe is very respectable, is he said something like he's been here for a long time and he's seen things end badly with some players who move on in a bad manner, and he doesn't want it to be like that with him. That if he's going to leave, he wants it to be mutual and full of respect, that he'll never say a negative or a bad word about Manchester United and his time at Manchester United. And that is super commendable and respectful. Now, if they told him that, hey, we need you to change your game to if you're going to fit the system, and he said, well, you know, I don't really want to change my game, and they mutually agreed to part ways, that is not on him, and that is not on Ruben Amorim. That is just two adults talking and speaking and just deciding that the stuff's not going to work out, okay? It's like a divorce where everybody is being respectful, nobody's cheated on anyone, no one's backstabbing, and no one's suing for a bunch of money. It's just two parties that decided that they're better off apart. And I respect that. And with that said, that should open up Alejandro Garnacho's eyes. That should make him realize that there is no fooling around at this club. Now, I know in his early years at this club, maybe for the last 2 or 3 years, he saw things were different. Player power was different. That managers get all the blame. That Erik ten Hag got thrown under the bus for how bad players were performing. I'm not saying Erik ten Hag was this amazing manager as good as Ruben Amorim. I have said it before. I did back Erik ten Hag, but I do think we had a massive upgrade by getting in Ruben Amorim. Ruben Amorim is amazing. And by the way, if I go into like pronouncing his name incorrectly and then finally pronouncing his name correctly, just know that I'm trying my best and I'm trying to learn how to pronounce people's names correctly, because I don't like calling him Ruben Amorim if that's not even his name and that's not how he would pronounce his own name. So anyway, Ruben Amorim has decided that maybe it's better to part ways with Marcus Rashford, and Marcus has so respectfully agreed. That's what I think happened. That's what I hope happened, and that's what I need to believe that that's what happened, because I want to respect both of these people, because I admire both of these people. I'm really hopeful that this is Manchester United going into the future on the right path. And if that means we have to move on one of my favorite players in this squad, I told you before, I'm going to be okay with it. And I just hope Marcus lands himself a good team that I wouldn't mind watching. Like, I hope he ends up at Real Madrid or Barcelona. I'm not really into the fact that he might end up at PSG because I'm not going to watch PSG games. So I hope he ends up at Real Madrid or Barcelona so I can watch some, if not most, of his games and still keep rooting for him and still keep wishing him best. I don't watch Bayern Munich games either, so I hope it doesn't end up there. Pretty selfish of me, I know, but that's what I want for him. And plus, there's a little rumor going around that he actually would like to play in Spain, so that would work out. But again, back onto Alejandro Garnacho. What this has to mean for this kid is he has to start looking and realizing that if he doesn't start doing exactly the way Ruben Amorim wants him to do or play, that maybe this summer he's out the door. Now, first of all, before I even go on, guys, let me know in the comments below, do you guys think that we can move Marcus on in January? Because the more I think about it, the more I kept thinking, there's no way we could sell him. I actually even messaged Diogo earlier today going like, I don't know how we're going to sell him. Who's going to pay his wages? Who's going to pay a decent transfer fee that we would let him go for? And then the longer I thought about it, the longer I thought about how weird it's going to be and how what of a strange position Ruben Amorim is going to be in to have to play a Marcus Rashford in, say, our next game, which I really thought he would be playing in our next game because of Mason Mount's injury. We don't really have that many options at the inside 10, and we all know that our manager likes to rotate players. So now I'm thinking Garnacho might play, maybe Marcus plays, maybe not. But can you imagine putting a player in that you yourself know has already stated to the whole world that he's leaving? And I don't know if we can do that all the way to June or July before we move him on. So I have to think that the doors are open. Anybody can come and get him now. Even, man, I don't want to say it because I don't want to loan him out. But even if the best offer we could get is a loan with maybe an option to buy based on performance by this summer, I really hope that's not what happens because we kind of need to bring the money in now so that we can get a replacement in now because we are thirsty for an inside 10, especially with Mason Mount injured now. We need quality players. We need that left wing back in, and we need that inside 10 that could actually make it work. And man, my dream, guys, if I can just speak nonsense for a second, I don't usually do that. I don't speak nonsense. Actually, I try to speak nothing but logic, things that might happen. Guys, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm going to do it for about 5 seconds and bear with me no matter how disgusting this may sound. But I was thinking about making a joke about feeling like a sorcerer or a wizard because I was the first YouTube channel, and I'm not even that long, right? But I was the first YouTube channel a long time ago that said that I think we could sign Lenny Yoro. Nobody said that we could sign Lenny Yoro. Everyone said he's going to Real Madrid. Every single YouTuber, I don't care who it was, from Good Morning, This is the United Stand or whatever, from him to the Muppets, everybody said that he would probably go to Real Madrid. And I said that, I don't know, guys. I don't think this Real Madrid thing is going to come true because Real Madrid's asking him to freaking sit on the bench and wait 6 months for them to get him on a free, and we're doing our best to get him. Also, I really wanted to believe in Omar Barada because I read that one story that Omar's actually heading that discussion, and he's the one involved in recruiting Lenny Yoro, and I was like, I really think Omar Barada is going to pull this off, guys. I really feel like he's going to turn down Real Madrid and come to us. I don't know if some of you guys have been here that long. I think there are because I used to get like a couple hundred views back then. So some of you guys know what I'm talking about. I wish I had the time. I wish I didn't work all day today. I would go in there and cut up the clips and show you guys the clips of me saying Lenny Yoro, I think it's a possibility and it's going to happen. A week later, we hear that Lenny Yoro might sign. And then like 2 days later, he actually, it was all confirmed. And Rio did that video with his shirt off, Lenny, that thing. Now, there was another instance where just only a month or two ago when I said Erik ten Hag's probably getting sacked, and he got sacked literally the day after I posted the video. And I was somebody who was backing Erik ten Hag, but at the time I said, I think time's up. I think he gets sacked soon. I don't see this lasting. And he got sacked the very, very next day. I just said that I think we might get rid of Marcus Rashford and Alejandro Garnacho 2 days, 3 days ago, or let's go back a week. And we're hearing that we're probably going to let go of Rashford. Is that because I don't have any inside info? That's just logic to me. It just looks like it's the way it's going to play out. So now my logic says that we got to move him on in January. It doesn't make any sense to have him here until summer. That's just and that's actually not even that hard of a call to make. So I'm not tooting my own horn here. I'm just letting you know that I really think he's going to be gone by January. But I also think that we need to bring in a replacement. And if maybe they don't operate this way. Ineos is nothing like an Ed Woodward, that piece of shit. Ineos is nothing like that Ed Woodward. But Ed Woodward, if he would have got rid of a star name like a Marcus Rashford, he'd make sure to get in a star name to replace him because he knows some of the fans are going to be heartbroken. But I don't think Ineos is going to operate that way. But if they did, the one name I would want, for me, somebody who's actually really good but ends up not getting that much playing time, I would see if Real Madrid don't need a left winger is the problem. Real Madrid have too many left wingers right now with Vinicius and Mbappe all fighting to play on the left side. But if Real Madrid and United can work out a deal to get Rodrigo in to replace Marcus Rashford, because Rodrigo can play on the wing, yes, but Rodrigo can also play as an inside 10. Rodrigo can play anywhere. Rodrigo is a super, super high football IQ guy. So I would love to get Rodrigo in. I don't think it's going to happen. If it does happen, though, you heard it here first. But I don't think it's going to happen, so I'm not even hopeful on that one. I think I have to believe what I say for it to come true, and I don't believe this one, guys. I'm sorry. I wish I did. I wish I could believe what I'm saying right now so it could actually come true. I'm putting it out in the universe just in case, but I think I have to actually believe what I say for it to be like a fortune teller thing. But the only other team in Spain that I think can afford him is Barcelona. I don't know if we want anything from Barcelona, and I don't know if they can afford to pay us for him. So unless we are willing to make a trade or work out some sort of funny deal with Barcelona, I don't think they're going to be able to pay us for him. So you guys think about that, because I don't even want to say it. I don't want to say the name, the FDJ, the one they want to get off their books, and we want to get him off our books. And I don't know, man. Is it going to be a Frankie de Jong comes this way while Marcus goes that way? I don't want that, only because of Frankie's recent injury history. I don't know. Can we use a Frankie de Jong? Yes, but we can use a healthy one, though. Maybe a couple years younger. What do you guys think? Get me in the comments. Let me know. You guys think I'm on the right track, wrong track? What's going through your mind? What did you feel when you heard Marcus Rashford's or read Marcus Rashford's interview where he said that he's thinking about leaving or needs a new challenge? Let me know. Let me know. I really am interested. I want to read your comments. Tomorrow morning when I wake up, after I post this, I'm going to bed. So when I wake up and I get on the YouTube studio and look at the comments that were left on this video, I'm going to be very interested. So let me know in the comments, guys. Thank you very much, by the way, for all the support you guys have given me and all the kind stuff you guys say to me in the comments. If you're new to this channel and you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button. We're growing pretty fast. I mean, just less than a week ago, I was only at 900 subscribers. We're like 1,100 right now. We blew my goal out of the water. So let's just see how much we can keep growing, and hit that like button. Let's get more people involved. Thank you so much. The other thing I want to talk about is, again, even if we're not going to replace him with a big name, even if Ineos isn't going to pull an Ed Woodward, where if we're letting a Marcus Rashford go, then we got to get someone marketable with a big name to come in, which I hope that's not the deal unless it's Rodrigo, because Rodrigo is not just marketable, but he's actually a really good player. What I think is going to happen for sure is you got to sign some players. You can't let Marcus Rashford walk out the door and the only signing you have is this 17-year-old left wing back from Paraguay who's probably not ready for the Premier League yet. So even though he's got a man's body, that kid is still got to get used to European football, and he's probably going to come in for a couple of minutes here and there, but he's not ready to give Diogo Dalot a rest and a seat on the bench while he plays a couple of games for us. I just don't see that happening. So if we're going to let a Marcus Rashford go, somebody else has to come in, and probably more than one. And there's a rumor I just read, and I've read about this for a couple of weeks now, that we're also talking to Theo Hernandez's agent. I think what we're doing with the left wing back position, because I really think we're going to look for a quality left wing back other than Diego Leon, who's coming from Paraguay. We're going to sign one that's experienced, that's ready to start right now. And I think what we're doing is the same thing we did over last summer when they were looking for a new manager. They pretty much interviewed everybody under the sun. I don't know if you remember, but we interviewed like 12 managers, okay? Thomas Frank being one of them. Like, we interviewed every manager there is, and then they decided to stay with Erik ten Hag. But anyway, let's not talk about Dan Ashworth. But I think that this is the way Ineos operate. They like to speak and talk and figure out what can be done with a bunch of different options, and then they narrow it down to the one they want. I think that's what we're doing with the left wing back position. We got Theo Hernandez. We got Miguel Gutierrez. We're talking to Alphonso Davies. Who else? There was a couple more. Ain't Nuri. Again, Kirkic, whatever his name is. So we've got like 6 names so far. I don't know how to count, but you know what I mean. We got plenty of names so far, and we're going to choose one in January, I think. And it's going to be the one not only that just fits his system. All those players kind of sort of fit his system, but they probably have a priority list where it goes, okay, he's number 1, he's number 2, he's number 3, or whatever, based on age, value, and what we're going to, what he can and can't do on the pitch. And I'm very, very curious to see where this goes. Which one do you guys want? I love it. For me, number 1 and 2 are Alphonso Davies, Theo Hernandez. Okay. And then after that comes Miguel Gutierrez. Like, Ain't Nuri and Kirkic are way the bottom of my list for me, honestly. And I know they have the Premier League experience, but that doesn't mean they're better. That's not how that works. You're talking in Theo Hernandez, you're talking about someone who's literally like FIFA 11 team quality or whatever. Like last year, he was in the top 11 players of the world. The guy has won World Cups with France. That's a great player. And with Alphonso Davies, I'm just a little bit biased because I've seen him play a lot in the MLS before he even went to Bayern Munich, and then I've seen him play for Canada more recently in internationals whenever I watch U.S. Gold Cup. I mean, U.S. Gold, just a Gold Cup and stuff like that, CONCACAF tournaments. And he's good. He's a really, really good player, actually. And he's built like a freaking man. I mean, that guy, if you want to talk about physicality, Alphonso Davies has got it all. Now, Theo Hernandez, he can run up and down all day long without getting tired. But he is aging. He is, I think, 27 or 28. And I don't know if that's the kind of signing they want to make, but maybe they do because they believe in Diego Leon so much that they just need a starting left back for the next 2, maybe 3 years, and then Diego Leon can take over, or they can, help each other out. What does that do for Diogo Dalot? I don't know. Diogo Dalot, I have no idea. We'll find out. I think that this manager is going to make sure that whoever is in the best form, the one who's training the best, is the one who plays. That's what he said in his own interviews, and I loved hearing that. I think that's the way it should be. I've always said on this channel that what I want is competition in every single position that we have on the pitch. Every single position, no one should be guaranteed a start, not a single, including the goalkeeper, which is why I was so happy to hear and read again today, by the way, after I posted a video 2 days ago saying it. I read it today from a different outlet. I don't remember which one, that we are looking at that Brazilian goalkeeper I told you about, and I believe his name is John Victor, like I said it 2 days ago in my video. So I'm glad to hear that because I even want Onana to have competition. I don't like the fact that Onana plays literally every single tournament. I don't think he will this Thursday, though. I might be wrong, but I think Altay Bayindir will play this Thursday just in case he wants to leave. It would be a great place to put him on the pitch right now, showcase him. Hopefully he'll have a good game. And that, because if he's forcing an exit, then we need another team to actually pay something to get him. So he needs to show himself in the game on Thursday, if he plays on Thursday, which I think he will, because it is a Carabao Cup, and I think we need to let other people play in that tournament. I think Anthony deserves a start in this tournament. Now, before you start typing in my comments, let me finish. Again, it's the Carabao Cup. I think Anthony's probably working hard in training. You could tell that Anthony respects Ruben Amorim, and he's given him everything he's got. He's trying to play the right wing back role. He is missing his defensive assignments. He is still out of position defensively without the ball. And I think that that's something that's just going to need time to learn. And I don't mind that. I don't mind people who are learning. It's okay because they will get better. But I think his heart and soul are into it. That's one thing you can never say negatively about Anthony. So hopefully Anthony will play too. I think those kind of people need a start and a run out in this type of game in the Carabao Cup. And that I hope we win. But I'm not going to be so upset if we get kicked out of the Carabao Cup because that just tells me that Ruben will have more days to train with the team and so that we don't have so many games all the time. I might be wrong. I haven't looked at the Carabao schedule, so I don't know if even if we win, we don't have a game for another month in that tournament, then I wouldn't really want to win. I don't know. I mean, lose. I don't know. I haven't looked at the Carabao schedule, so I am guilty there. I'm just speaking out of turn. But in my defense, all I want is for this manager to have the whole squad in training more often so they can start to develop their feel so they get their positioning right. Every game I watch, I start seeing little sprinkles of improvement. Oh, they're doing this better. The game against Man City, out of possession, we were so good. Defensively, we were so good, and our press was freaking amazing. We suffocated them, and we were able to hold on to the ball. The one thing we're not doing so well is still creating chances. We are useless almost at creating chances. We are not seeing the gaps into openings. Actually, the second goal, guys, I don't know if you guys have seen this. Maybe I will try to post this one in this video right now, right here. In the second goal, when Licha had the ball, it was Ruben Amorim who told him to pass to Ahmad. He literally says, Ahmad, and then Licha lets go of the pass, and we get that goal. Now, that's the long ball, goal, the Hail Mary pass that we can't count on every game. We got to create chances more with short passes and creating and connecting 2 or 3, 4 passes together that create a chance. We did that once during that game, I think, for a cross by Bruno for a header by Ahmad. No, we had it twice too, because Ahmad also missed that. He got through, but he was offside. But it was a good sequence of play that got him through, but he was offside. So we need to do more of those. We need to create more of those, and that is the hardest part of the game. That kind of understanding of how to create a chance or open up other teams by syncing together 3 or 4 really quick and sequence patterns and passes takes training. Takes a whole lot of training on the training ground, and how he's complaining about not getting enough time to train with his players. So if getting out of the Carabao Cup means he has more time, I'm all for it. Guys, that's it for today. This wasn't even planned. This is just me turning it on and freaking talking away. By the way, I also read that we're still in for that 17-year-old Severe Nippon, I don't know how to say it. I think he's Norwegian. I love it. That kid seems to have a lot of good highlights. I've never watched him play a whole game except for the game that he played against us in the Europa League, I believe. And he was good in that game. But that's the only game that I've actually watched him play. Everything else I've seen of him is highlights on YouTube. And he looks great in highlights on YouTube, but I guarantee you everybody looks great in highlights on YouTube. So I'm not going to get all crazy about it. Plus, he's 17 and he's physically small. So I don't think that kid is coming in to get a bunch of minutes. Just like Diego Leon from Paraguay is actually not physically small, and I don't think he's going to get a bunch of minutes. So he's not someone we're bringing in to get into our inside 10 and play 70 minutes a game. I think he's coming in and he'll probably get 10 to 15 to 20 minutes a game here and there as a substitute. I don't think he gets a start if we get him in January, that is. I don't think he gets a start this season. I'm not even sure how many starts he'll get next season because, again, I don't think he's physically ready for a Premier League, but he's somebody that 2 years from now could be amazing to have if those highlights are a real representation of what he can do against bigger guys, because that league he plays in, they're not really as big or as physical as we are in the Premier League. Guys, thank you very much for joining me once again. I'm still going to make a video on Thursday night or Friday for you. It'll either be posted Friday morning your time or Saturday morning your time. Thank you so much. Leave a like, subscribe. See you soon. Bye.